Hello viewers. So there was a request regarding doing lettering with hand embroidery on one of my earlier videos. A viewer had left a request about lettering with hand embroidery. So I'm going to try and do this. So I'm going to do the straight line of the letter B separately, and then I'm going to do the curvy portions. So I'll start here. Since I'm left-handed, I'm working the stem stitch in this manner. Right-handed people will do it in the opposite direction. I've not traced the word actually. I've just taken a pencil and I've written it in my own handwriting. I know it's not really calligraphy type of a handwriting, but yeah, whatever. For the sake of demonstration, I suppose that's okay. So here I come to the end of this line of the letter B. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the needle down here and bring it again up here at the beginning of the curvy part, from where I will continue the curved part. Now remember, there's one small tip that you can keep in mind when you're working with curves and a stem stitch or back stitch on the curves. Wherever you think the curve is getting very steep, you can use smaller sized stitches. Now here, because it is a very gradual curve, it doesn't matter really, but when it is a very steep curve, you'll have to use smaller size stitches. We will see what I mean by that when we come to the next letters. The angle is going to be a little wonky because I work this as I record, and it is slightly difficult to do both at the same time. I keep turning my embroidery frame as I work on this pattern. It's your choice whether you want to keep it stationary and then work on the pattern, but I prefer to keep moving the embroidery frame. I'm just more comfortable doing it this way. Now I'm going to go down here and I'm going to bring the needle up here again and turn the frame and start working on this portion. How to move from one letter to the next. So I'll just show you in a bit. I had kept this embroidery thread tightly wound around a tube, which is why it is now all knotting up when I work on this. So please be careful of how you store your embroidery threads. I don't think this is the best method to keep it. I normally wind it around a broad piece of cardboard or around the skein itself. But this time I had kept it wound on a tube. Okay, so I have reached the end of this letter B, so this is the last stitch. Now if you see, I have done the letter B with stem stitch and I have put the needle down here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to knot the thread below, and then I'm going to restart by pushing the needle up from here. So I'll knot the thread below, cut it, and then take it out from here and then move along this next letter. Okay, so I cut the thread and I've knotted it again, and I'm going to start with the letter L now. I'm going to continue working on this with the stem stitch. You can also use the back stitch or the split stitch or the chain stitch for this. It's your choice. Any of the outline stitches can be used for lettering. I'm doing this video using the stem stitch. You can do this kind of lettering on a frame or on certain items which you want to keep personalized. For example, baby bibs with the baby's name written on it and so on. So now if you see, we have reached a curve which is kind of sharp, and so now I'm going to use a smaller sized stitch when I turn the corner. It makes it easier to turn when you use really small tiny stitches around the curve. And then once you cross the curve, you can again resume the normal length of the stitch. And I just follow the path as the letter has been written. So the orientation in which I have written the letters, I follow the same path to do the embroidery. So if you see, I have kind of reached the end of this letter L. And now I'm connecting this letter L to the next letter O. I just go on with the stem stitch. And as I said, when the curves become a little sharp, I use smaller sized stitches. That just gives it a neater look around the turn. So you can see that this L continued in this O without any problem. Now again on the curve, I'm going to keep the stitches smaller in size. If you see, this looks pretty neat because of the small stitch size. If I continued using the long sized stitches, it may not have looked so neat. So everywhere around the curve, it is better to use small sized stitches. And now I have to move in. Again, I have now changed the orientation of my hook as I go in the other direction to work this curve. There are few people who say that turning of the frame is actually not okay in hand embroidery, but then I feel one should also look at whether you're comfortable while you are doing the stitching part. So I don't see any issue in turning the frame. So my O has been done, and now I'm moving to the next letter, the next O, and I'm going to continue working small stitches around the curve as I did in the previous letter O. And since it's the same, I'll just finish off this and I'll be back once I'm done. As you can see, I have finished the letter O and have started the letter M. This is where the M is going to end. So what I'm going to do is put it down here and then take it out again here from where the curve of the M starts. Now I'll turn the frame and I'll work the stem stitch further. The only tip to remember for curves is to keep the stitches very small as the curve bends. If you remember this tip when you're doing the lettering or in other designs as well, your stitches will be clean and they will look neat. So if you see, the curve is now done, and because I used very small size stitches, it looks neat. Now the middle portion of the letter M is over, so I'm going to put the needle down there and take it out from here, turn the hoop, and now again continue with the stem stitch. The length of this video is a little long. That's because I wanted to show how I finish one letter and move into the next, and so I couldn't skip the steps in between. So sorry about the length of the video, but I hope you got the method. Again, round the bend, round the curve, you keep the stitches teeny tiny and small, and you're good to go. Here I come to the end of it, so I'm going to put the needle down and let me first show you how it looks. So this is how my lettering looks with the stem stitch. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked the video.